In this review, I will be taking a look at the NECA Gremlins 2 Demolition Gremlins 2-pack. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Before we dive into the figures, let's start off by taking a look at the packaging. This set comes in a window box packaging that allows you to see the figures as well as the accessories. Here's the bottom with the barcode. Here's the top. The box itself is made to look like a wooden crate. Here is the side. The back has images of the figures and the accessories. And here's the opposite side. Overall, I really like the packaging design. Let's start off by taking a look at the green gremlin figure. The figure is dressed in a construction worker outfit with an included hard hat. The hat is removable. There are cutouts in the hat that allow it to be worn over the ears. It isn't the best fit and the hat will fall off when the figure is moved, but it is a nice inclusion. Looking at the figure itself, it is just a reuse of the generic Gremlins 2 gremlin figure released several times before. While the paint does differ from previous releases, the sculpt is still the same. As nice and as accurate as the sculpt is to the film, I do wish they would have updated the head. Perhaps give us an articulated jaw and ears as they did with the updated Gremlins figures from the first film. That aside, the head is very nicely painted, especially on the eyes. Moving down to the body, this figure is wearing a blue vest with a white undershirt. They are made of a soft goods material. The vest even has sewn on pockets. I think the clothing turned out fine and does fit the figure nicely. Now comes my biggest gripe with this figure, and the 2-pack in general. Upon lifting the white shirt up, you will notice that NECA did not fully paint the figure as the torso was left unpainted. This is such a shame, as people like myself who plan on buying multiple of these 2-packs to army build won't be able to display the figure without the clothing unless we paint the torso ourselves. I, like I'm sure many other people are, do not have the skills to custom paint figures. Moving along, the scales in the arms are very nicely sculpted. The palms and underside of the arms are painted a tannish color. The outside of the arms are mostly green with a few dark brown patches. Even the upper arms have extra paint, with several more brown patches and spikes painted. Here's a look at the legs and feet. The legs continue the dark brown painted patches as the arms. The nails are also painted. The large feet do help the figure to stand easier. There are peg holes on the bottoms of the feet if you choose to use the display stand. Turning the figure around, here's a look at the back side. Raising the shirt up, once again the back was not painted either. At least the back of the head and ears were painted. Now let's go over the articulation. The head is able to look left and right. There's very minor tilt. This is as low as the head will look down, and is why I wish they would have updated the head articulation. This is as far as the head will look up. Even with the clothing on, the arms will go forwards and backwards. They will also go outwards as well. There is rotation and bend at the elbows. They only bend this much though. The hands are also able to rotate as well as hinge in and out. The legs can slightly go outwards. They do kick forwards and backwards, but due to the cut, they do so at an angle. There is a bend at the knees. The feet are able to rotate as well as hinge up and down. Now let's move on to the brown gremlin. This version of gremlin is considered the Type 2 gremlin, and it's the first time NECA has made a figure of one. This is a great addition to the Gremlins 2 figures in my opinion. The biggest difference between this one and the previous one is the head design. Personally, I do like the look of the previous one more, but the great thing about Gremlins 2 is the Gremlins had different looks and skin color, unlike the Gremlins from the first film, which for the most part all look the same. This figure is very nicely sculpted and painted. There are different shades of brown all throughout. Like the previous Gremlin, I do wish this one had articulated jaw so you could get more display options. That aside, I do really like the way the head turned out though. Moving down to the body, this gremlin isn't wearing any clothes. The torso is fully painted, which is great for people wanting to army build this figure. The amazing paint and sculpting continue. In my opinion, the best paintwork is on the arms. I just love the design pattern. They remind me of something found like on a snake. The undersides of the arms are just tan. The legs are just as detailed as the upper half of the body. Since these are the same feet used on the previous gremlin, they do have peg holes. Once again, turning the figure around, here's a look at the backside. The paint and sculpting does not disappoint on the back. The back continues the design pattern found on the arms. One cool thing on this gremlin versus the previous is the addition of fins on the back. The fins carry over onto the back and top of the head as well. The back side of the ears are beautifully painted. Going over the articulation, it is mostly the same, but there are some differences. The head can look left and right. Once again, it doesn't look down, but can look upwards. There is some tilt. This gremlin does have added ear articulation. The ears are able to be folded backwards. There's also rotation in them. The arms can go forwards and backwards. They can also go outwards. There is rotation and bends at the elbows. Rotation and hinges at the hands. The leg articulation is the same as the previous figure. The knees can bend, and the feet can rotate and hinge. Now let's take a look at the many accessories. Starting off, we have interchangeable hands for the brown gremlin. This set of hands have an open grip, which allows the figure to hold onto some of the larger accessories. Next up, we also have the same set of open hands for the green gremlin. Taking a closer look at the hard hat, the front says Little Grims. Looking at the side, you can get a better view of the cutout for the ears. The hat itself is made of a silver plastic. Here's a look at the underside and the back. Next up, we are treated to a nice cold beer. The name of the beer is Grims. On the can is the clamp center logo. The top is very nicely done. There is even a small hole where the can has been opened. I really like how this beer turned out, and it is one of my favorite accessories from this set. Next up, we have a mallet. This is not the first time we've gotten a mallet with the Gremlins line. One was also included with the Ultimate Flasher Gremlin. While not my favorite accessory from this set, I am glad they didn't just reuse the previous one. Next up, we get the blueprint for the Statue of Liberty, which appears that the Gremlins plan on destroying once they get loose in New York City. It's just a printed piece of paper, so be careful, as it can be damaged or ruined if not stored properly. As with the beer can, this is another accessory I really like. Next up is a bomb. This is just a classic rounded bomb as seen in numerous films and cartoons. The bomb itself is solid black and has a red wick. Next up is a bundle of dynamite. These are all sculpted together. The sculpted paint turned out really nice. In addition to the bundle, we also get 4 individual dynamite sticks. The dynamite sticks are the same brown color as the ones in the bundle. This time though, they include a long black wick. While the stick is made of a hard plastic, the wick is made of a softer rubber material and is able to be bent. Next up is the dynamite plunger. The front says Acme as if it is straight out of a Looney Tunes cartoon. The plunger on top is actually able to be pushed down. This is something that wasn't necessary, but I'm so glad they included. Just as with the other accessories, this plunger is nicely sculpted. Last but not least is the Acme TMNT barrel. While it's not highly detailed, it looks just as how it should. The top includes a handle. This is because the top is actually removable. The inside is completely hollow, which is great as it allows you to store the other included accessories from the set. I absolutely love this, as when the figures aren't on display, the accessories can be stored and not lost. Now let's compare these two gremlins to some other gremlin figures. First up is an Ultimate Gremlins 2 Brain Gremlin, an Ultimate Greta, Mohawk. Comparing these Gremlins 2 figures to a gremlin from the first movie, here's an Ultimate Stripe, here's an Ultimate Gizmo, here is the new green gremlin, next to the Gremlins 2 Flasher minus the coat. The greens are different shades. As I previously mentioned, they do have the same sculpts. The last comparison I have is the new Type 2 brown gremlin alongside the previously released brown gremlin. I'm curious, which type do you prefer? So that is my review of the Gremlins 2 Demolition 2 pack. This set comes with a lot of cool accessories and allows you to have many display options. While there are some minor gripes I have, overall I really do like this set. I'm really happy anytime NECA releases new Gremlins figures. Getting a new type of gremlin is really nice as well, especially for fans of that type. Once again, if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button, as well as click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Hit that like button if you did enjoy this video, and follow me on social media, links are in the description below. Thanks for watching.